James Curley says, I like Moses' style with the saucer on top of the coffee cup. Rebecca points out it keeps the drink warmer. Good idea. Yes, he likes his tea or his coffee hot. Lucas says his last one challenged off, I'm assuming that he's tried a number of times, was Rab, R-A-B. Interestingly, that one, that's never come up for me as one I've had to avoid playing, but we all have our own. Ought is definitely one of the ones I still have to remind myself not to put down. So Moses going with an early play here, not taking a whole lot of time to think about it. Puts down Trank.
Good one.
Certainly the highest scoring here.
Oh, he's a third of the way to Tranquil.
Yes. Does
a U.
Does Thacha get an IL here? Let's see. T-O-I. Ah. Just needs an L.
Well, you can have you can play keywords. Which keyword would you play here?
Which keyword would I play? Let's see, the rock. His hands are covering it. Oh, no, it's over there.
You could also play a double-double.
I think I am a little more partial to using the Q. But yes, a double-double is valid as an option. Equator. Interesting.
That seems nice. I like that he's not afraid of leaving that S hook because, I mean, that S spot is not that much more valuable than the S of Trank anyway.
Moses has lined up Kino. I remember when we went to the Reno Nationals in U.S. back in 2005. That was inside of the Grand Sierra Resort that the tournament happened at. At some of the different restaurants and drinking establishments, there would be the women who would come by with the Keno cards, and they would always want us to try and play Keno. So it kind of became a running joke, like want to play Keno in Reno?
It's a little weird you didn't play Keno spelled with an I, because clearly that would be a better leave. Another option was Korai, K-O-R-I-I. That would have been 4 more points. Looks like a straightforward play for Thacha.
Yeah, he goes just fine.
There you go.
King of Lettuce asks, Nigel played a phony 4 and still won. Did he get away with Biak? The implication I got from Andrew Fisher is that it was challenged off. But that's true, he didn't technically say whether or not it was. But would you have put the ER on Coit, Jason? Or would you have held on to them?
Maybe. I would have thought about it, depending on my mood. I mean, they're really similar, right? It's the kind of thing it doesn't even help to think about it more, right? And I guess here Thacha's wondering whether to put the R onto Raga, making KR. That would be 9 more points with a much worse leave. But given that there's a T and the R to play through, it's and there's lots of valuable tiles to be drawn, I think it's a good idea.
So there goes Rega, adding R to it.
And somebody's pointing out that like the quarter spot for the S is a more valuable spot than the Trank spot. That's maybe 5 to 10 points, but I think people often forget that there's like on any given position like many ways to score 50 to 100 points, and if there's already big spots, opening another one that's slightly better is not that much of a concern, especially when you're getting more points. You're getting rather oftentimes your own concerns around leave and score will outweigh those smaller positional concerns.
Looks like we have a story in the chat about another Nigel glitch. The favorite Nigel glitch is when he played Bayagi, I guess, so Byagee instead of Baggy, Bhagee, because the H and the Y were side by side.
Oh.
King of Lettuce says that was against Ricky Pernomo, who later tried to hook an S onto it, and it got challenged off.
Oh, sad.
So there you go. Yeah, there are certainly some glitches in the Nigel matrix, but I would say it still doesn't happen too often.
Motivator played Beano, leaving EI. That was, I guess, his highest scoring play, but leaving EI, probably not ideal there. Could have played Beano through the end, but still Beano's a strong play, especially given that he drew 5 constants. That's nice.
So if I'm interpreting the way that Thacha is thinking out loud on his rack, he was looking at options just using his U and no longer thinking about the tranquil extension.
No, I think he was thinking of plays that keep UI.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and now he switched it to keeping the UI on the side and looking for plays that don't use it. So it seems like he was considering first the ones that do, and now the ones that don't.
Right, I see. Yeah.
So yeah, he's in the category of players that think out loud with their racks, as I call it. As opposed to the ones who think in their hands, with the tiles held in their hands before putting them down.
So like he could play VAE, making var Anna Eon. That would leave UI MR. He could play. I guess initially he was considering UVA, making AB.
Mm-hmm.
Could also play VARE, making ret ear.
You have one more hand.
Oops.
So
interesting.
He's ended up using an I. I think part of the rationale for that is, of course, there are only 4 U's in the game, but there are many more I's.
Yeah.
So if you're going to use one of those letters and try to score, then the I is not the worst. And you still...
Yeah.
The interesting thing with Merv is unless you do something like a bingo ending in ST, Tranquil is still not likely to get taken out.
Yeah, but you can't plan your whole game around
No.
Tranquil because it's only 50 points and
Mhm.
you're going to bingo eventually and score many more than that. And EAU is so bad.
Yeah, and now with Nervy going down, that will officially kill any opportunity for Tranquil, so time to go for the equity plays.
Oh, it's coming back.
Never mind. Never mind. He was playing a few moves quickly earlier, but Bino went down almost instantly after it went back to his time.
That was so fast.
I assumed it was the same thing again. Moses has lined up Erived instead.
Ooh, nice. Assuming Thacha's last play, it looks like Quackle likes UVA or MEU. MEU where he played Merv. But Merv is not too far behind.
Moses is still staring hard at this. Finally hits the clock, so goes for Erived.
Yeah, Quackle likes Rived by a lot, so that's a really nice play. I mean, Elon is clearly a better leave than the DIL of
I'd have to
Nervy.
agree, yeah. And I think
That's
that's
only
probably why he hesitated for a bit there.
Yeah, only sacrificing 2 points. Plus, it's better defensively, not putting that E. What was the word yesterday? Hiding the vowel.
Hiding the vowel, yes. There was a B play. I don't recall what the word was, but yes. Quite right. Jiaower is going to go
Nice.
down, keeping 2 E's.
It's a good play.
I think that's safer than you, Gary. I am.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of this.
Yes.
Moses has got a nice rack at the moment. Should score fairly comfortably well on this turn. Oh, faint over Facet. Yes, there is that as well. Thank you, Alyashia. That is one of the times we talked about that. They remember our 10 games yesterday better than we do.
That's incredible. Also, unless you're in this time zone, those games were at crazy times of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
Although, to be fair, I don't know if anyone watching is doing all 10 of the games when they're watching. So, fewer to remember each day, but still, very impressive. Good memory there, Alyashia.
Yeah, I love it.
So Zing down at first, but switch to Azon.
Maybe because there's so few A's unseen, Quackle likes just playing ZO. But
There's the D, of course, to hook, and there were 3 of those.
yeah, I don't see the appeal of that play. I like Azon's fine.
Budak mentions Thacha is close to Cowhide. Yes, with an I instead of the second E. Yeah, that would be a very nice play. You do what I do, Budak. You go with the what if and change a letter or 2.
Yeah.
Here comes Chowd and Neat. Looks like Thacha is on hold. He hasn't drawn tiles.
Do you think he's holding any T?
is possible. Joshua Sokol says, I did not know neat or ard. Lots to learn for 2020. Well, if it's any consolation, Moses Peter is here and doing extremely well, despite evidently not knowing either of those words, or at least one of them. So, hey, get your study up. But you don't have to be perfect. We're seeing that you can still do well.
One thing to note is that the challenge rule is 5 points per word, so you need to say which word or words you're challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So
the assumption is that one word is being challenged, but we of course don't know that for sure.
Yep. I've never gotten to press the plus. I didn't forget to press +5.
Oliashia says it might be chowed that is challenged. I guess that's possible.
It's a fun rack for Thacha.
Thacha doing what I like to do, reorient a tile if it's not properly in place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type who would get angry at a player or tell them to orient their tiles properly out loud, but technically I believe it's the same in WESPA. The majority of the tiles, or at least half if it's an even number, have to be oriented correctly. So.
Peter Rose made a good play of if. He passed up a few other options that were more opening through the ORA. He could have played like by 4-8 or Boral or Foreign, but if was a good patient play.
I know I have to make sure that I talk about rules adjudications correctly, especially when there are people like Rebecca Slivka in the chat. She is certainly very knowledgeable with the rule book in NASPA, so you know exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah, basically every turn this whole game has kind of been maybe 3 turns for each player have been about like how many tiles do you want to play. Like each turn they've had a choice between similar scoring plays that would use like 3 tiles versus like 5 or 6 tiles.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of each time they kind of oscillated between choosing between those 2 options. Like Azon used more tiles than needed to, but then if used relatively few tiles compared to other plays.
Mm-hmm.
And here again, like Thacha can play like HI, making Hora for about as many points as you can play like Hip or Chip. And I think I would probably want to play more tiles because there's 4 S's unseen, 2 blanks unseen, and at some point there's going to be some huge plays. Like you can't have that pool and not eventually get some big bingos, given that there are plenty of S hooks.
Mm.
And if it's not going to be you, it's going to be your opponent.
So a little bit of a difference of opinion in the chat for moves. Udak says Coral would be interesting in this move. And then Josh Sokol says he likes Hip and Hip. James Curley says cheap. He'd play to open the top right more. A couple of different ideas. And Ola Cake asks, what's the right thing to do if your opponent places the first move upside down and you notice? I will speak for North America. If you do notice and it's your turn, what I would normally do is I would pause the clock and point out that the move is not oriented correctly as far as the bonus squares go. Because what happens is if you do make a move after it's upside down, is you have to play the rest of the game upside down. So it needs to be noticed before you make your move, or before they, well, not before they hit their clock, because you can't talk on their time, but if they have played the move on an upside down board, you need to neutralize the clock and let them know, and I believe you can put the clock back on their time to reorient the play.
Are you sure you can't challenge it?
No, it's totally fine. Because it's not that you aren't playing through the center star or anything like that, so it's not a diagonal play or an illegal play. It's just the squares with the letters is just upside down. So you can just move the letters right side up so that you can see the squares properly. But it's not technically illegal because the only thing that's off is just the squares are upside down as far as the lettering goes.
Isn't there a peculiar rule where, like, if you play a 4-letter word to open and 3 of them are upside down and 1 of them is right side up?
Oh, that's different.
You can challenge it off?
That's different, okay. Yes, because in that case the majority of the letters are not oriented correctly. Okay. Rebecca was just saying there was a rule story she heard recently where someone's word got challenged off because more than half were upside down, so the opponent challenged the backwards version of the word, and that's what you're talking about in the opening play. We're talking about when all the tiles are upside down.
Anybody know why? I'm not understanding why cheap is better than chip. I'll have to ponder that. Chip sim's a bit better in the sim. Chip is first, cheap is second, hip is third, high is fourth. Thacha done by 60. There's a few options from the C of cheap. Thacha needs a blank very soon. We might as well be hugely outrun by Moses Peter.
Yes, because Moses is going to score quite well on his next turn, certainly.
Yeah.
Packs, the very least.
Yeah.
At 43 minimal. Josh has a different opinion about chip in the chat, and no, I don't think that's really fair. Jason's actually mentioned a number of times during the broadcast that he doesn't agree with things Pablo is saying because of what's happening with the board and how humans respond versus computers things. I don't think that's really fair as far as a reason for that.
Yeah, I totally agree, and Quackle wouldn't play this game well because it would do a lot of openings during the sims that you wouldn't want to do on this board. But like leaving IL and opening up a big C that only your opponent would have first shot at doesn't seem great, especially when like one of the bingo lanes is words ending in A next to Jiaoer. And when IL doesn't go great with that C. Cool. Civil was, I think, the best play.
So
then
Poiters, Sext, and Reggae has been played.
Oh!
Yes.
That's not a word, is it?
Indeed not.
Whoa. Whoa.
So Moses is getting challenged.
Oh, that is a blunder. Yeah, Jesse mentioned he has packs for 43 and expats for 54. Wow. Wow, this game's going to be tied. Do you think Thacha will draw a blank?
Now he's got a great chance to do it.
He drew a blank. Oh, he drew great letters.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is a nice turn of events.
You're...
Demerit? No, there's no spot with the S quite, but something through that E, surely. D-mister doesn't fit. Oh, there you go, mitered. Great play.
Great play, that's the highest scoring one. Oof. And he has the first shot at drawing the next blank as well. Wow, he's down. I can't believe he went from down by 60 to up by 60 in
That's a huge swing,
like
right
one
there.
play, 2 plays, 1.5 plays.
That's a giant swing. Moses putting his letters back in his rack.
Yeah, now he has some real. Now it's a real choice.
So no second blank for Thacha. Definitely back in the game. And now something like Pax.
No, not enough room. One up, move it up. Yeah, would you choose PAX or expats? Or something else?
I don't really like playing expats there, but on the other hand, he's exposed the fact he has an S, so perhaps he's scared that the spot will get taken away on the next turn.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
So maybe he just wants to use it because he's thinking, I'm not going to have a chance to use it anyway. So
yeah.
why not just do that?
Yeah. At the same time, with 4 S's unseen to 3 S's unseen to Thacha, it's overwhelming odds that he has an S anyway.
And that'll be a nice spot
Ooh,
for the Y
great
for
one.
Thacha,
Great
keeping
play.
a balanced rack at the same time. Moses time. Hello, Viol, Emo, and Ale.
Playing that.
Lewd.
Why is he playing that so fast? It seems like probably the best play. But yeah, it's incredible how quickly he's played this game. And he's played reasonably well, except for his phony.
And as was mentioned in the chat a little bit earlier, Moses could perhaps win this game by fast playing Thacha, forcing some errors late in the game.
Oh, he's drawn the blank. Oh, he's drawn the blank, but no vowels.
Oh, except one. He's got the.
Oh, yeah, we're a 1E, okay.
But yes, that blank will certainly help him.
This is so close. Most of the Quackle's suggestions put the G onto Gazon. That would also basically block the only bingo lanes
Yeah, and score decently. Yeah, Sung and Gazon is nice.
Yeah, you might want to keep both S's and play Tongue, because S's are especially valuable in the endgame.
Well, what's the... There's 5 in the pool unseen to him. Look at that. We have a little ticker for NASPA rules concerning establishing tile orientation.
Whoa. He can also... So there's 5 in the bag. I guess that's why he can't really... I mean, he could play Gusts, making Jowers and Mervs. That's 43. Gosh, this is a really complicated position. But it seems likely that Tongue or Sung is ideal. Because for timing-wise, at least 2 in the bag. Although, you might want to leave 1 in the bag. Oh, maybe even Tongues to leave 1 in the bag, then it kind of makes it hard for him to do a 1-tile fish.
Josh says, love it. Kumar is killing it with the overlays.
Yes.
Indeed.
Although, which rules are we playing with?
We're playing with WESPA rules, but to be fair, WESPA often defers to an established rulebook like the NASPA book if there isn't a specific rule explaining a procedure. So, let's see. Jeremy Hildebrand asks, so is half your tiles misoriented challengeable? Or 1 more than half? Well, you have an even number, right, in some plays. So I believe when you have a 2-tile play, for example, if 1 is misoriented, challenging that seems a little bit harsh. So I believe it has to be more than half. And yes, as Peter Armstrong mentions, Tongue sets up Stung, and that's why I'm not so partial to it. I'm a little more partial to Sung. But I do understand why keeping 2 S's would be valuable.
Yeah, I mean, Tongues doesn't seem to have much downside, right? Leaves 1 in the bag, doesn't set up that hook. Ooh, what does he play? What does he play?
Sug. Yeah, I was looking at something like that as a possibility as well. It does something similar in blocking up the E lane.
But why is that better than Sung? Maybe he probably missed the guys on hook.
It's very possible. Moses playing fast again, trying to induce errors from Thacha, who now has 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Ooh, so Flu emptied the bag.
So, current scores are 3-5-8 for Thacha, 3-4-8 for Moses, so very close. Going to be an endgame situation here. Thacha has about 2 minutes to figure out if Moses has an out in 1.
But even if he does, he'd probably still play Lust. I mean, Lust seems like a sure win. Down below, Jowers and Mervs.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
Oh, he's a
And there's also
bingo!
bingo.
Wow. And the second best would be Utes. And then close behind Lust. Sexuals. Is that...
Well, let's see what time does to him. I think he's got Lust lined up. Yep. So, and that would be sufficient to win. Yes, Alexi, that is a nice find.
Nice
Good
find,
one.
good one.
Here goes Lust, and yes, that will be sufficient to get the win.
And then Moses Peter has a few outs. Let's go back and look at when Moses Peter played Flues. Do you think he had? feel like it must have had fishes, one-tile plays that would threaten bingos that could be tricky to block. But maybe not. In any case, he spent probably a little bit too little time on that play.
James Curley mentions the phony probably swung the game. I can say for certain it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. One move made all the difference.
I wonder what raga means.
Actually, that was put up.
Oh.
I think it's music.
Yeah.
The beat, the rhythm.
That is quite right.
Mm. What kind of music? Like which countries?
India.
India, Sanskrit music.
Hmm.
Carnatic music.
Cool. A situation where knowing that makes it like 0 chance that it takes a knee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't know it's music, it could be like an Indian grass, but it's good enough.
So Moses is going to go with
Loden.
Yeah.
It's the best play. Good work. How does that affect the standings? I feel like we didn't check in on the standings. Nigeria was in 3rd and Thailand was in 5th at this point. So Thailand has a good chance of catching up a bit.
Mm-hmm. I think while you get that set up, I'm going to grab a cup of tea because, as James Curley mentioned, while a tea break is not necessarily ever too early. Yes, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea at the moment. Josh Greenway says, Michael suggested me to talk about social coverage and streaming. Sure, fair play. I guess Kumar can get that set up, and I'm going to grab a cup of tea while that's happening. Be right back.
Enjoy it.
Do you need tea? Do you need water?
I'll take tea.
Tea? What kind of tea?
Whatever you have.
Okay, finish. So yes, I just need help. Okay, so this I want Josh to talk. Yeah. So just talk about this about NASPA and his strategy. Since we have NASPA. Yeah. So is he down again?
Yeah, he's down again.
I can talk to him.
So just tell me that when he's back, when Jesse's back.
I think we have Josh on. Josh, can you hear us?
Oh. Thank you for the sentiment, extra type. I will miss you as well. Although we'll continue to virtually see each other.
Josh, can you hear us?
I cannot hear you. I can hear you through the speaker. I can hear myself. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Am I?
Fantastic indeed.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you, Jason. We haven't met before.
Indeed. Nice to meet you. Can you tell me about yourself and what you do? Also, a NASPA update.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on there either.
Absolutely. Well, the reason Michael asked me to come on the stream is because I'm coming to you live from the NASPA Tonight studio. NASPA Tonight is a weekly live stream show to Facebook, to NASPA's Facebook channels, as well as WESPA and Scrabble snippets. Every week we predict winners of tournaments. We talk about different Scrabble projects. And one of the things we've been doing for the last couple of weeks is doing previews for this event. So we did a big preview on Team USA. Jesse Day came on live from Hong Kong, I believe, before he traveled there to Malaysia. And we talked with him just about what the plan was, and we also profiled some of the other players. So that's why Michael invited me on. And really, I wanted to say I think you guys are doing a great job. I mentioned in the comments there, Kumar is really killing it with the overlays. I really like. I haven't been able to tune in for the last day or so. I was there from at the start, but the presentation really looks terrific right now. I like the way the players are split to the left and right, and that's kind of offset, and it just
fancy.
the whole thing looks great.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's blossomed into a extremely good setup, world class.
For sure. I also am all involved with the North American Scrabble Championship and their stream. So there is one suggestion that I have for you guys, and I don't know if it's available or not. But you and Jesse need to be a little better lit, right? We need some kind of light that would be in front of you and off to the right, because you guys are totally in the dark.
A little bit,
there,
yeah.
or certainly with the light coming through the window, and
Yeah, I feel like the
especially
light-
with. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like the lighting was better when it was thunderstorming.
Well, yeah, that light coming in off to the side, unless you have some light to offset it, is is going to hurt you a little bit. And both of you, look very nice. Obviously, Jesse, as usual, is dressed to
looks
the
nicer.
nines, but I see you've got the button-up shirt. I think it's a real professional organization that you guys have there. I just don't want to see you two working in the dark. That's all.
That's right. It's real professional, but it'd be still better if Jesse wore short sleeves.
Who?
You.
Me?
He's saying our get-ups are good, but
I
they
like
could
to
be
be
justified. I like your poster behind you. I love the NASPA Tonight
Oh,
poster.
thank you. Well, that's our logo. Like I said, we're coming to you from the
Let's see. I'm
from our
reading
little
the
mini
comments, trying to
studio
catch
here.
up on what happened while I grabbed tea. Jesse and Jason are more lit than you could ever be, Josh. Wow. I must have missed some juicy gossip. I like it.
No, he's just giving an introduction to NASPA Tonight, how they covered the tournament leading up to this. Yeah. No, it's great that Scrabble broadcasts are getting better and better. Thanks to Josh, thanks to Kumar, thanks to Michael Tang, thanks to Ellie Danglor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. That is fantastic. I know Ellie is. I was surprised to read that that's where some of the funding was coming from, and also for New Orleans coming up, that's super exciting.
Yeah. If I were to add anything to this broadcast, I would probably add music. I think Benny Blanco dropped an album today. That would be good to feature.